Bet you wish it done kick the bucket.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another episode of GNG News. So today I am lucky enough to have the man Blarny here with us. So a little brief introduction to Blarny. So how did we meet? So initially we first met down at Man Like Bedo's brand new music video, which is sometimes I believe is coming out in a couple of weeks to maybe a month's time. So when you guys get to see that, you can see all the madness that ensues. You may have seen my behind the scenes episodes that I put up, obviously regarding us being there. And when I was there, obviously we spoke for like a good couple of hours, MC, got a lot of things off from there. And obviously said to my guy, I wanted to do an interview. So first of all, how are you today, sir?
I'm all good, my bro. Thank you so much for inviting me on. Like, I'm kind of hyped up to be part of this. I'm saying, man. Yeah.
So obviously, you want to introduce yourself, like tell the guys a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, basically, so for everyone out there, my name is Mr. Blarny. Foremost, I'm an artist, MC, rapper from hip-hop elements, always putting out content. I also do a podcast, anything creative that's coming from the source of musical entertainment that I can sort of like push over to other genres. I'm that type of dude, whether it be like writing sketches, have a lot of sort of like focus on video directing on the videos I put out as well. But I would always fundamentally describe myself as a music artist and an MC. Yeah.
So for your music wise, where's the best place that people can get hold of your music online? Is it Spotify, iTunes? Yeah,
I'll definitely say Spotify. I'd always say Spotify, just the sheer popularity of a medium, a source that people are listening to right now. Also YouTube, if you look up Welcome to Blarneyville, I've got my podcasts up there and a lot of my recent music as well. So welcome to Blondie.
So how frequent do your podcast episodes go up?
So they're just, so at the moment they're just starting a video podcast, but it's ultimately to put them out there once a month, and then by sort of like halfway through the year to put like a fortnightly basis, depending on feedback and how things are, man. But for the moment, once a month, different type of guests, different type of subject matter, and much like yourself, try and make it like a very natural format where people feel comfortable and can just do their thing and talk about themselves, man.
Yeah, man. So with the podcast, like explain a bit more in depth of it. So what do you do? Is it like a revolving door situation where you have guests coming in every single week, or
Pretty much. I mean, I've got another artist, a good friend of mine at the moment, who's sort of like on there for kind of like, he's there sort of like on the second row in command, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll have different artists and different people from creative aspects going on there as well, man.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like that at the moment.
So I've looked into some of your stuff previously. I could see that obviously when you were saying about sketches and parodies. What gave you that sort of creative side of it? Because you're another artist, like I don't want to compare you to anyone else, but like Man Like Bedo, for example, is another person who is in that sort of realm where he also creates like sketches and parodies and other sorts of like forms of media. So
and an absolute D, by the way, Man Like Bedo.
Big up Man Like Bedo every time. But
every time.
Did you? So what did you start off doing then? Did you start off doing like scripts and sketches first, or did you start off doing music first?
Oh no, like music, fundamentally music always was like, I've been rapping since I was 7 years old, man. So it was just like, never decided like I'm going to be a rapper. It's like music was always around me in my background sort of thing. I would listen to music and rap songs before I went to bed when I was like 6, 7 years old, kind of like a bedtime story. And then I would not my favorite art. I think a lot of people do that, kind of just like learning the lyrics of your favorite artists, and then from then start making up my own.
who was your inspirations then? What was the sounds that you were
So
hearing at them times?
I got hold of tapes from like my parents. So I listened to like De La Soul was someone that I
Hey,
listened to
nice.
because they weren't rapping hard. They weren't rapping about gangster shit or nothing like that. They were being themselves. So when I heard them, I was like, oh shit, this is something that anyone can do in terms of if you've got the passion and the skill level, of course. You don't have to be tough. You don't have to rap about violence. So when I heard them, I was like, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Or let me try and do it at least. You know what I'm saying, but then I always listened to the pioneers when I was young, like Rakim, and then kind of moved on Black Moon, kind of like that kind of golden era 90s hip hop kind of vibe, man. Yeah.
So, from listening to your music, I can see your inspirations and your vibe is very broad. So, what was the reason for you starting to make music? Because obviously, you said the music you were inspired by, but what was the reason? Because a lot of people may rap along to other people's songs. A lot of people may know other people's lyrics, but I think it takes a certain something inside of each of us to be like, no, I want to do this. Do you know what I mean? So, what was that for you?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I remember rapping in assembly in primary school, for example, because it's like we had to do something where it's like we had to make a speech in an assembly hall talking about how to save the planet and the environment, and other people done speeches. I felt more comfortable. I said, can I do a rap? Like, let me write something into a rap. So I think I always felt more comfortable expressing myself through music. But ultimately, it would have to be people around me saying, you're actually good at that. And once I heard that, I was like, well, if I'm good at it, I'll continue to do it. Because I loved rap so much. If I had a little inkling that I was crap, then I had too much respect. But ultimately, when your peers are around you saying, you're good at that, man, because I'll be doing it for fun. And I was like, no, you're actually good. So I was like, that's what I was like, okay.
I guess you just like the energy that it made you bring. And I guess, not to compare you to me in any way, but like when you first start doing music, because you're not doing it for any sense of an accolade, it's just fun. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh, what can I spit on this? Like, it's just that raw energy that you have, like before you have any sort of inkling of like, what would these people think of, or any of that stuff. It's like, I just want to spit on a beat and I like this beat, you know?
Exactly. I was a weird kid, man. I'll be happily like playing on a keyboard and writing little songs, just for writing songs. You know, like when you're a child, it weren't like, I'm going to write a song and go into a studio. You know, you didn't even think about studios. Like, it was just something naturally, how to express myself. It was the medium that allowed me to express myself.
So basically music was your muse in that sense. That was your form of like expression, was through making. So have you ever gone into production wise, or have you always just
I mean I play the keyboard in the studio. I tell sound engineers and producers, hum a beat to them, but I would never call myself a producer in the terms of, although I'd have input in it, I wouldn't get into the technical side of it. That's something I've never done.
So I see you on your podcast show in music videos from your own to other people's, freestyles, rapping to parodies. Just to say a little about you, what has given you such an amount of drive, and why do you do so much?
Well, depending on your spirituality and philosophical outlook in life, without getting too deep and arsy about it, we only have one life to live, as we know it on Earth, right? So if you feel you've got something to give creatively, you can do it. Go for it, and why would you not do that? Do you know what I mean? With just one chapter on Earth, do as much, maximize as much as possible. So it's like, and I'm the type of person that's walking around throughout the day with ideas. So them ideas can't just stop there. You need to put them out to the earth. People might not like them or not, but get them out there, man. You know what I'm saying?
And as you're saying, you know, you've only got one life, so at the end of the day, you've got to make the best out of your situation and do as much as you can with the time that you're given.
100%. Why would it? And that's for everyone out there. You know, if you're a good writer,
in any field or anything that you do it, just apply yourself 100%.
Listen, man, if you've got that, put it out there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
100%. So high work rate is something that I've seen from you. So what has given you such a high level of work rate over the years? And have you got any tips for anybody else that is either in the industry or not in the industry, of ways to keeping themselves motivated and, you know, at a high energy level of doing things?
Yeah, sure. Work rate is everything, first of all. Like I'm talking on a music level. you know, as much as we have fun with this, there's the serious side to it. So, for example, you know, when I'm in a studio, there's no playing around, regardless of the type of elements of type of style of music. It's a job, and for everyone out there,
Paying
once
for
you're in
that
the
person's
studio,
time as well, you know.
yeah. And if you don't take yourself seriously, why should others?
How can other people? Yeah, how can other people treat you as such if you can't?
Yeah. So first of all, your latter question, sort of like tips. My tips would be like punctuality and professionalism is everything. First of all, for yourself, respect yourself. Turn up on time, regardless if it's a recording studio, you've got a video shoot, an interview like similar to what I'm doing today. Turn up on time. Turn up a little bit extra. I mean, go out your way, because the other people around you will appreciate that, and they'll take you more seriously because they know you're about your game and you're about your business. And
I also think as well, with you saying that, that comes down to basic morals and manners, because I find that's something that seems to get lost, not just in this industry, but in all facets of the industry. Because I'm in the music industry, but I'm also in the tech industry, and I'm in the influencer industry, which is quite toxic. So like sometimes just like little things of like just respecting like the fact that, you know, someone's time may be precious or whatever else, or just, you know what I mean? It's not a lot to say please and thank you and just basic things, man. Just get
absolutely politeness, and you know what? Reputation spreads as well. And you know, like I might think someone's a great artist or a great videographer or something, but if I've had a bad experience, how can I recommend them to another person who's possibly going to put money and time into that?
It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And plus the other thing as well, the American industry, I can't comment on that, but the UK industry, like as long as I've been part of it, is very small. Like I've met so many people, not just through networking, going to London, but going to Bristol, going to Birmingham, going to here, going to there. And there's so many times where I've met someone and they're like, did you work with this guy? I'm like, yeah, yo, he's my cousin. I'm like, oh, is it? And like, oh, I know him because I did this set with this person. Oh, I know her. She's a model and she works here. So like creating yourself a name in the UK, like if you want to be part of this industry, it's better to approach everybody with the same, like as they say, treat people how you want to be treated, and 100%. Just garner greater respect in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, there's something that just seems to get lost in translation.
It's that mutual respect. Yeah. Absolutely. And then work ethic. Again, it's like I know people again are so talented, man, and they lose inspiration for one way or the other. I mean, the industry is a nasty game. Do you know what I mean? It's you know, there's the music aspect, and once you go into the business side, it's a murky world. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people getting put off by that, and I can understand why. But the thing is, you can't, you know, don't sell yourself short, and don't let others sort of like cut off your career.
I think two of the, not to go off on a tangent, but I think two of the worst things in the industry is this word that's been around for, I don't know, I think about 10 years now, called clout. And the other word I would say would be exposure, because a lot of people in the industry who will try and get people who are of a smaller ilk to do things for them for clout and exposure, which is basically, well, it's like work experience in a sense. You're not getting paid for this, you know what I'm saying? So like, but then that goes back to, you know, simple things of respect and just treating people how they should be treated and just keeping it on an equal level. Because if anything, like, you know, we only met like what, 2 weeks? When was the music video?
September. Last Saturday.
Yeah, so last Saturday. So this is only a week ago. And throughout that time, like, you know, I mean, we've been able to converse, have like decent conversations, create content, whatever else, and get to a decent level. Whereas some people, not having them basic skills of just being able to actually converse with someone in a correct manner, it just hinders them in the long run. So yeah, man, you've got the right energy for everything you do, bro.
And for your audience out there and the people that follow that, as soon as you was on set last Saturday, man, your energy was kind of like, you know, you were on point from the start, and you kind of like, you gave other people a vibe, man. I mean, you traveled a far distance to turn up for a man like B Dot, who he totally appreciated that as well, man. But it was your energy levels around. It's quite infectious, you know what I'm saying? So people out there pick up on it. I picked up on that like automatically. Do you know what I mean?
The same with you, bro. Like at the end of the day, you know, the second I pulled the camera out, like you are fully ready to engage, and like I understand with what I do, not everybody wants to be on camera in it. Not everybody wants to be in, like, be part of, you know what I'm saying? But like, you were fully involved in everything that was going on, you know. Yeah, thanks to everyone who was involved. I don't want to forget any names. Big up to Jago, shout out to Dan, shout out to Billy, shout out to, what's Billy's dad's name?
Man, I forget, but
listen, shout out to Pops, yeah, shout out to Pops, shout out to, yeah, everybody who was involved in it. Like, we all just, you know what I mean, we did the damn thing and everybody got involved. I might have traveled, but at the end of the day, it wasn't really an issue because Jago is the person I record with, so I travel down to his studio, not on a frequent basis, but when I need to come record, I do that, and I come back and forth. So at the end of the day, with me, bro, like, B-Dot knows from there, and if I say I'm gonna do something, bro, I do it. Like, with me and him, that was penciled in. Like, I knew about this around the time that you probably knew about it. Like, I don't want to reveal too much information of what we do or whatever else. Like, I knew about this for a while. It was all gonna go how it was gonna go, you know what I mean? That's why I came down, obviously did behind the scenes, got involved, did like I said to him when I got there, and then I remember even said, I goes, look, where you want me, you tell me where to go, you tell me what to do, you tell me where I need to be. I'll, because he's used to doing content with me where like it's normally on my show or something, and I said to him, I goes, nah, I goes, I'm here for you, and I go, so you want me to go, like, you know, when Billy was like, and trust me, big up to Billy in it, because straight away the second I said that to him, he's like, right, go stand there, look menacing, go do this, go do this. You know what I mean? Man was
rocking the family, like the goons, you know what I'm saying, man.
You know what I mean? He was like, stand there, look menacing, and all this stuff, you know what I mean? So like,
you know what that is? That's down to love, and again, that's down to passion and enjoying what you do, but enjoying what other great people around you do.
That's the thing, though. At the time, this was work. Bro, none of this, I know that, like, to be honest with you, the only thing that felt long, and I'm not someone who, like, I just don't like long journeys in it, like, and it was on a bus. That's the only thing that felt long. The second I got to London, like, it didn't feel long, bro, apart from getting, like, a couple of trains over to where we needed to be, and, you know what I mean? But as soon as I got there, you seen from the second I got there, I was like, right, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not one of them people, like, the way I see it is I live off this mantra that in life, you will only excel at doing what you enjoy doing. I enjoy what I do. So when I'm in work, as in something creative, I don't ever see it as work. When I'm in my 9 to 5, yeah, I see that as work because it's not a chore, but it's something we all have to do in life just to get by. But when I'm doing work, that's this, music, tech, gaming, something to do with my channel, something to do with something else online, like, I'm willing to put the time in and find the time. That's the other thing I would definitely say as well as a good tip to a lot of people is there's a lot of people with this and ah sort of will I, won't I sort of thing. And it comes back to your rebuttal earlier on of like, you know, put 100% in. Like, you guys have, like, if you want to do something in life, you have to take risks. You have to take that jump sometimes. You initially have to, because you never know if you're going to be an artist until you go to a studio and make a song or you start rapping. You start, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if anybody,
100%. And for people out there as well, there's a lot of things, you know, where you're not getting paid, but that's not what it's about. Ultimately, it's about creating those experiences, sharpening your tools, your skill traits, and naturally progressing through your career. And you'll get there. I mean, but I mean, any advice I give out to anyone, I'm saying right now, if you're looking to earn money, don't ask me, like, be a banker, because this is art. This is an art form, and ultimately, we want to sort of, like,
you just want to express yourself. Like,
you want to express yourself. And in a real world, you want to see the benefits of that. You want to be paid for your career, of course, and we all do that. You know, you'd be dumb not to. But if you're fundamentally in this for the clout, in this to be famous, and never ask me any advice because I wouldn't know. There's tons of people that do that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
You want to do some, and the other thing as well, I'd say to anybody who's going to enter just the music industry in general, go in it for the long haul. Don't be thinking like I'm going to put a year into music, like, because I'm not no disrespect to anyone who does it genuinely. If you're doing it and you've got a machine behind you, then we know it's all false. You know what I mean? But if you're one of these people who can make a freestyle or make a song and put it up and it's got that much of a vibe that, I don't know, Timberland sees it or this person sees it or that person sees it, then fair enough, big respect to you. But at the same time, like, I haven't been, obviously because of age, I haven't been creating music for as long as obviously you have, but I've been vocaling and making songs since I was 12 years old. I've got like, 4 or 5 mixtapes that are up on my old YouTube channel of when I tried to do a Lil Wayne effect, you know, when he was just remixing everyone's songs on mixtapes. Bro, there's bare tunes from like early 2000s that I did my did my own little version. Yeah, bro, I didn't care, bro. Like I was doing like EDM, I did rap, I did trap, I did grime, I tried to fit everywhere I could.
Diversity, and I think that's another tip. Is like, do you know what I mean? Be flexible with your trait as well. Do you know what I mean? And what I say, sort of like,
because like,
yeah, 100%.
As the way I see it as well, because a lot of people get surprised when they hear from rappers like, for example, let's say Nas, right? Now Nas is a very hard-hitting rapper, you know what I mean? Very, very metaphorical, very good with his lines, very good with his cadence, very good with his flow. I've seen interviews where he says like there's days he just listens to Motown, and and this is the man who wrote Ether, and you know what I mean, stuff like that. And like with me, one of the biggest artists that I listen to all the time, and I say it with chest, I listen to Gorillaz a lot, like a lot. You know what I mean? Like you've heard me spit, like I've spat with you. You know what I mean? I spit grime. You know what I mean? Well, not just grime, but I do rap as well. But like, you can't ever defy someone by a flow, innit? Because I like My Chemical Romance. I like Daft Punk. I like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like old grime groups like the Nasty Crew. You know what I mean? I like EDM. I like there's and the diversity. I can tell because of when we've spoken, when you tell me about, you know, I mean, you're one of these people that would jump on any sort of genre, bend genres, and do what you need to do. If you feel the beat, you're gonna vocal it regardless of like.
And musically, my inspirations will be from different genres. You know what I mean? Once you're so involved in something, like I don't particularly like
music though, because you're diverse in your sounds. Because this one thing I'll say about you, you're not like, no disrespect to anyone who is. If it works for them, it works for them. You're not a type rapper. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say, someone says to me like, "Who's Blarny?" I can't go, "He's a grime MC," or "He's a, I don't know, you're a boom bap rapper," or "You're a this." The only thing I'd say if I was to try and define you is you're a sick freestyler. Because you blew like, bro, how you're able to come up with words that quickly, like, that's sick, bro. You got that raw, like, when you were doing that when I was there, you just reminded me of like old school days when I was like in a circle with their people, and it was like, look at that, and everyone was
you was doing your thing too, bro. You were freestyling, though, bro. You was getting into it, mate. Listen up, you were getting into it, bro. But don't be one dimensional. Can I just like pick up on a point you said as well, and just add to it? It's just like my other sort of like thing that people would say is like, don't get caught in trends, because you know when you put your music out there, it's for life. So 5 years, 10 years, 15 years time, man, you want to look back, and you know, music is like an emotional currency, but it's also a truth. So don't do something for a trend, because you want to look back in that, whether you're proud of your music or not, because there's room for growth. I've looked back at stuff and but I can look back at it and say that's where I was at the time, and that was me, but that was the truth. Don't get caught in a trend that doesn't represent you as of now, because trends come and go, and you might have the tightest shit right now, like you might be on it, and it's just people ain't feeling it now because it ain't the time. But remain true to yourself, because you know,
believe in yourself as well, because self-belief will carry you through. Because I had that like when I was younger and I was spitting bars and stuff, and I'm glad that I'm not with the energies I was with before. So I used to go to studio, obviously young man times, when community center, go into studios and stuff, you know what I mean? So I got a lot of people with me because we're just from the area and stuff. And because of that, when I go studio, bro, you know what teenage boys are like. They're harsh as hell, bro. I'm like, all right, I'm like, bro, that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So then I'm then thinking to myself, oh, I need to rework this. Whereas what people don't know, on variant 22, and I'll say this now, there's a 16 on there, and I'll send you this after the interview anyway. But there's a 16 on there that is from way back a day, and nearly every artist, not like fan, and no disrespect to anyone who's a fan, but every artist that I've showed this to has said to me, just like, how did you come up with that many metaphors? I'm like, I wrote that when I was 12. And it's crazy. Like, it's just one of them ones that has stuck and because I took myself away from people, like, that's another tip that I give anyone if they're in a studio. Don't have too many people with you when you're in the studio. And if you are going to have people with you in a studio, they either have to be working on the track, as in like they're the mixer, the engineer, or they're like a feature or something like that, or it's someone that, I don't know why you, like me personally, I don't work like that, but they really have to have like a keen input on your music in a good way, because when you got people there and you're like, oh, vocal this, and you know what it's like when you catch a vibe in it. You're an artist, like you've done your tune and you're in that vibe. You're speaking to the person who's mixing it down, or the producer or whatever else, and then so like someone comes in and they're like, they hear it back and they're like, oh bro, you should do this and this and this and this. You're like, I didn't need that opinion. Right? You know what I mean? Like sometimes you don't, like, you need to warrant certain things away, because I like to kind of go into the back cave when I'm doing music. You know?
That person is not in that studio for a valid reason, i.e. input in that track right there, yeah, you know, it's not a job. Again, it's not a game. This is work, and you know what I mean, that's a relationship with you and people you can trust in that environment. Like a studio is a safe haven as well, where you have to be stripped down to your bare and the most honest that you are, because you're putting out your heart and soul on it.
Yeah, sure. If
you're there for group vibe and all that, that might not manifest and come across. You know what I mean? Because you're vibing, having a good time, but sort of like taken away, and it could be a distraction.
100%, man. So the name Blarny, I did a bit of research and I found out some origins. Can you explain to me why you use that name and what is the exact meaning of it for you?
Yeah, I'll break down the meaning, but ultimately the first reason it stuck with me, the name, because I had an auntie Eileen who passed away. She used to say, he's full of the Blarney, he's full of the Blarney, which basically means, you know, full of the, you know, the gift of the gab, right? So there's a castle like 5 miles outside of Cork, in Ireland, called the Blarney Castle, and inside it there's, so it's like a, you know, it's mythological kind of like folklore.
Yeah,
there's a Blarney stone, and like, you know, you can visit that, and you get kind of, you have to get tipped upside down, you kiss the Blarney stone, and then you inherit the gift of the gab. You know, the skill of articulating, maybe getting yourself through life through your words, right? Getting yourself out of situations, maybe sweetening people, you know, sprinkle it with a little bit of
around certain situations. You got a gift of the gab, I get
you. Exactly, gift of the gab.
What year of origin does that originate from? Is that 1800s?
It's got to be that, it's got to be round that era. You know what I'm saying? And then otherwise, obviously, because my heritage is Irish, so it just kind of leaned and gave a nod to the Irish background as well. It's, oh, you blind? Yeah, I've got Irish background as well.
So obviously, from that to me, that tells me you're Irish and proud then to have that as your name.
Yeah, well, absolutely, it's representing it. Right, you know what I'm saying? I've been proud of that element and that bloodline as well, 100%.
100%, bro. So anyways, last but not least, my final question for you today. Well, before I get my final question off, Cordair, are you going to break your heart, who is obviously vocaled by an amazing feature from LA? Yeah. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I want to talk about Carolina the Eighth very, very briefly. When we're talking about like genuine artists, like there's this singer here. I've worked with singers, a lot of singers, and they are a different source of kind of like
what people. Sort of singers though? Like soul singers, jazz singers, R&B singers?
Soul singers, like big up Dean Sholham, one of the best UK singers out there. We done a song called Retro. But with female singers, you know, they come with some can come with an attitude because they're coming from a different environment, right? They're working for a rapper and whatnot. Carolina the Eighth is one of the most kind of like down to earth artists. Again, like ourselves, doing it for the passion. So when I meet people like that, I will continue to have a working musical relationship with them. And we put out 2 songs, like 21st Century Blitz, 21st Century Cosmic Remix, that both out there on YouTube. But we are putting out this new single and a video. She's from Los Angeles, so she's done a video of her part out there, me in London. And it's got kind of like a Latin vibe to it, kind of slight reggaeton, like yeah.
Nice. So what made you go for that sort of vibe? Did you just like?
I like reggaeton, innit? I like reggaeton. I like that. I like that Latin flavor, something to listen to. Do you know what I mean? She's Brazilian, so I was like, when I heard the beat, I thought of her. I wrote the chorus and sent it over, see if she liked it and all that. And I could hear her vocals on it, and then from there it's like, boom, let's record this, man.
How did the meeting of you two come about?
So I met her out in Los Angeles. I spent a lot of time in LA. Back and forth through I was signed back in the day, so I was out there for a long time as well, and I got to connect with good people And
hold on, you said you were signed, guys. We're gonna have to come back for part 2. Like you said, you were signed. We're gonna have to come back for part 2. This man's hiding things from me.
Yeah. Well, we could have a second sip with the industry.
Yeah, of course.
The industry chapters, right? Yeah. But yeah, from there, she was good people. So I always kept in touch. It's like anyone I meet in the music industry, particularly artists that are good people and talented as well, I will continue to make music with them throughout, and I've continued to do that throughout the years, man.
So what can people expect to see from Blarny this year and in the future and so on for?
Expect an EP called Captain Nemo. That's going to drop around. I've pinpointed it for Easter time. It's the League of Extraordinary
We're gonna have some
Gentlemen.
deep bars that are gonna go under their heads.
Yeah, you know this. It's got metaphorical similes. It's based on. All I can say, it's going to be based on Captain Nemo, the character. Anyone that's read the books out there, a very interesting character. And it was because I was watching the films, and then I started reading more in depth and studied this character, and I thought, you know what, I could break that down into 4 tracks representing Captain Nemo, right? Yeah, that's the aqua, that's the aqua vibe. I mean, the ocean sea level can be deep. I mean,
that's sick. I like how you was able to come up with such a interesting. Yeah, man. I'm expecting to see some mad concepts, mad flows. You know, what I mean, some crazy artwork. You know, what I mean, some Nemo under the sea, Jaws.
It's gonna be all that. It's gonna be all that. Captain Birdseye 2.0, you know what I mean? Like,
where can people contact you on your social medias? Where's the best place that people can hit you up?
Instagram. You can put me up on. You can follow me on Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram if you want to. You know what I mean? I'm that type of person. Inbox me. I'll follow back. I'm quite kind of like that. YouTube. Welcome to Blarneyville, so we can see the podcast as well. I want to shout out my man K-Con as well, who appeared on a lot of my podcasts, who I've also done music with as well. He's a rapper in his own right, very talented rapper, but you can see him on on the podcast as well. So I want to big up K-Con. Don't want to forget him. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, other than that, just the main kind of like usual mediums that you'd go for: Spotify, as I mentioned before, man. Mr. Blarny, so that's MR, then BLARNY. No E in it, as in the Blarny Stone has an E in it. I took mine out because I'm true.
All links to your music and all links to your social medias will be down in the description below, so you guys will be able to catch them over them ways. I appreciate your time for today, my guy. Obviously, we're going to come back and do a part 2 because there were things.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
And I'm putting this out here now. Everything I put out here has to manifest, so we need to do music as well, bro.
No, we're going to do music. We've already like. That's already in the pipeline, you know what I mean? There's things already in works for that.
Hey.
We had a little prior conversation to this, and we got into a lot of interesting topics around a lot of things that, you know what I mean, like you guys probably wouldn't think that we may talk about. So this may become something in the future that becomes a running thing. Big shout out to Blarny, shout out to man like B. of course, for the link up, because if it went
for man like B.
I wouldn't be here with you now, would I? So of course,
exactly big on man like B. on this. I can't wait to see this video, man.
Man. Sick. And yeah, shout out to everybody who was at the music video. Shout out to Biddy Goat Media. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Jago. Shout out to Dan. I mean, man like Bido himself. The music video is going to be coming out, I believe, in a couple of weeks' time. And exclusive little bit of information. I'm going to be doing a official reaction video to the video, guys. So you will hear some little tidbits of, obviously, I can only tell you from what I've seen on the day of the things that I was doing. I don't know the actual script of how things are going to look, and I can't say too much until, you know what I mean, things happen. So when the reaction comes out, I think that'll be good for you guys to hear my perspective of what I thought was going to happen, and then me seeing the final product, because I said to Ty, I don't want to see it until when you tell me it's out, send me the link, and then I'm not gonna look at it, and I'm just gonna come away from everything and just have one day where I'm gonna video it, and I don't know, I can even do it because I can live stream on my channel. I might do it live. I'll let you guys vote. I'll either do it live or I'll do it recorded, but yeah, it will be like my very first reaction to it. So yeah, we're definitely gonna be looking into that in the future. But you know, thank you for your time today, bro. One of the concepts they had for the video that we can't talk about. It sounds mad, like bro, it's just crazy more than anything else. But anyways, guys, big shout out to Blarny. You know, check out Blarneyville. Go check out the podcast. Don't forget to check out his music. Are You Gonna Break Your Heart? You know what I mean? Shout out Cortea, shout out everyone involved. And we appreciate your time today, guys. And if anything, stay safe.